time is now 6:31 p.m. I'd like to welcome everyone who is here today to be part of our meeting. Will be called on Monday, July 21st, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. for the Alice Independent School District, our Board of Trustees. I'm going to call this regular meeting to order. Present today is Dr. Trevino, myself, Jennifer Barrera, the Vice President, Mr. Herman Ariano, Trustee Adrian Peña, Trustee Ciro Zamora, Trustee Debbie Guerra, and Trustee Lee Ramon. Everyone is here. We've established a quorum. At this time, we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag and the Texas flag and the Williams flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Number 4 on the agenda is to administer the oath of office to the new board member for place 3. So where is he?
He's already skipped.
Cody, nice to meet you.
You can sign. That's what.
Okay.
At this time, we'd like to welcome the Honorable Judge Michael Garcia.
Thank you for having me here. It's such an honor. It's trustee place
3.
3. All right. Just you can raise your right hand and Cody, do you have a middle initial?
James.
Cody James Reeves.
Yes, sir.
I, Cody James Reeves, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of Alice Independent School District School Board Trustee Place 3 of the state of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state. So help me God. Please say I do.
I do.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Reeves, and you may now take your seats.
Congratulations.
Are you ready?
Already? Not ready.
Ready or not?
On to item number 4. Recommend approving of the board meeting minutes for the meetings on June 9th of 2025, June 19th of 2025. Is there a motion at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 9th, 2025, and the special board meeting on June 19th, 2025.
Do we have a motion by Mr. Peña? Is there a second?
Second.
And we have a second by Mr. Zamora. All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. On to item number 6, the public comment. The audience participation at a board meeting is limited to the portion of the meeting dedicated to receive public comment in accordance with board policy BED local At all other times during the board meeting, the audience shall not enter into discussion or debate on matters being considered by the board, unless requested by the presiding officer. If the speaker is seeking board resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district's grievance policy. At regular board meetings, the board shall permit public comment regardless of whether the topic is an item on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Public comment shall occur at the beginning of the meeting. Individuals who wish to participate during the portion of the meeting designated for public comment shall sign up with the presiding officer or designee before the meeting begins, as specified in the board's procedures on public comment, and shall indicate the agenda item or topic on which they wish to address the board. Except as permitted by board policy, BED local, the board's procedures on public comment, and individuals' comments to the board shall not exceed 3 minutes per meeting. When necessary for effective meeting management or to accommodate large numbers of individuals wishing to address the board, the presiding officer may adjust public comment procedures in accordance with BED local, including establishing an overall time limit for public comment and adjusting the time allotted to each speaker. However, no individual shall be given less than 1 minute to make comment. At this time, Ms. Hunter has handed us a public comment sheet, and there is no one signed up for public comment. On to item number 7 on the agenda, the superintendent's report. Dr. Trevino.
Yes, thank you. So this is officially our first day back as we start the 25-26 school year. So the summer went by really, really fast. I want to thank the staff for working hard and preparing for the upcoming school year. You'll be knowing that there's a lot of events happening, starting with our Leadership Academy in a couple of days, as well as state assessment results coming in the near future. We also have new teacher orientation that's being prepared for. Teachers have gone through a lot of staff development in the summer and will continue in the upcoming weeks. So we're excited for the new year. We have seen growth and we expect to continue to see progress with our students. You'll hear about the stadium updates and anything dealing with that, and ensuring that we also get our facilities ready for the start of the year. So please know that they're working really, really hard in ensuring that we provide the best services for our kids in our community, because they so rightly deserve that. So we'd like to start with our Fine Arts Head Band Director and Administrator in charge of Fine Arts, Mr. Pettis.
Dr. Trevino, Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Banana, Board President, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests. My name is Americo Perez. I'm the Fine Arts Administrator for Alice Independent School District. I'm here to present a very prestigious award on behalf of UIL for one of our brightest students. Mr. T. Garcia IV was a part of our UIL State Solo Ensemble students that went to Round Rock this past May, and they competed at the state level. And when you compete, you're trying to earn that gold medal. And after it's done, and all the kids are gone, thousands of kids participate. If the judge happens to award any student with an outstanding performer award, which means they just stood out in the room, they will announce that after the competition. So we received word that Mr. Enrique Garcia received this award, and UIL sent him a letter, and we have put it under glass. And we're going to read just the first paragraph. Okay, Enrique Garcia IV. On behalf of the UIL, please allow me to congratulate you for being selected as an outstanding performer at the 2025 Texas State Solo Ensemble Contest. Of the approximately 100,000 students participating in the regional UIL music contest and the thousands of musicians who performed at the Texas State Solo Ensemble Contest, only 2 to 3% of the solo performances earn this distinguished honor of being recognized as an outstanding performer. This achievement is truly a mark of musical excellence. I'm going to present him any UIL performer, sports. This right here is when they win UIL. This is a gold medallion that was given to Ricky and it is given to every state champion in Texas, whether it's sports, physical. So I want to present this to Mr. Enrique Garcia the fourth.
Thank you so much. Good job, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
If his parents and grandma can come up.
One fan.
I know you are grandma fan. Are you okay, Ricky, to have him with me?
Our biggest fans.
Yes, for sure.
I'm good right here. It's the principal. Yes, come on. Take us one now and then.
Let me take one real quick, yes. Put it in there too.
Right, it's my cousin anyway, so.
Yeah.
Don't steal the thunder. Awesome. Good job.
Howard, think us about the same. Congratulations. So proud of you.
Yes, me too. Thank you for all your education. Congratulations.
I'd like to add, Ricky, that all the younger children at the elementary schools already know about you. Serve as your role model. Those kids at Noonan want to hit the drums just like you do. And for me to already know that you serve as a role model to the younger students is something that you should be really proud of. Because you not only represent your family, which I know they're very proud of you, you represent the community and you represent Alice High School extremely well. So thank you so much for your work. We know that you're gonna go places and never forget where you came from, because you still are gonna be a senior just this year. You've been recently named as one of the drum majors, so congratulations. We look forward to your leadership.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And now I invite to the podium Mr. Theo Peña and Frank Gomez, who will be doing a presentation on KOPY FM radio broadcast rights. Later on in the program, board, you will have an opportunity to approve a recommendation. This year is very unique for Alice ISD in the sense that we will be playing all our football games away. And this would allow an opportunity for our community that are not able to attend the games to be able to hear the games on the radio. So I'll give them an opportunity to share.
Yes, so once again, thank you guys, appreciate it. Trevino, thank you. Board of Trustees, thank you. And citizens, thank you as well. We come as a team at Y92. You're the local radio station, come and humbly ask for your approval to call the games, the football games and playoff games on the radio station. We have a enormous response from the community asking us, due to the reason of the stadium, that for us to start calling the games again, going back into the tradition of sitting by the fire outside, you know, and even inside and just driving around, listening to the games, play by play. And we do have our team ready to take that position. And again, we wholeheartedly ask for your approval. Mhm.
Do y'all have any questions?
You just gonna be doing the football game? Right now, we're doing, because of the sponsorship, yes, doing the football games and the playoff football games.
I appreciate his expectation that he knows that we'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like that. See, like that a lot. Thank you
Thank you,
very much.
appreciate
gentlemen. Next, we have Ms. Elena Gunches to do an update on academics.
Good evening, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Trevino, members of the community. I'm really excited to be back here and doing the first academic update of the new school year. We are going to actually start out with a little shout out for our early college high school. Early college high school programs are evaluated on outcomes-based measures in 3 different areas. And each of the 3 different areas has certain standards that they have to meet in order to have met designation, and then even higher levels of standard in order to earn distinction. So the 3 areas are access. That's the first one that you see there. Access has to do with equitable access to early college opportunities for students that are identified as at risk, economically disadvantaged, emergent bilingual, or with disabilities. And you can see there that the Alice Early College High School program did meet the designation standard as well as meeting the distinction earned standard. The second area is attainment. The attainment indicators have to do with performance on end of course exams, graduation rate, and college readiness. And again, they met designation standards and the higher distinction standards. And the third area is achievement. And that is based on whether those early college high school students are, how many college credits they're actually earning in the program, whether they're actually completing core requirements, and whether they're completing an associate's degree or not prior to finishing high school. And again, they met both levels. And so what that means is that the program status is now going to be designated with distinction. So previously they were designated, and now we've been able to add that distinction status. So congratulations to Early College High School and the staff and all the students doing all of that excellent work. Moving into some STAR results, during the June academic update, we were able to share the preliminary STAR results for end of course. And so now this month we're able to share those preliminary results for our STAR 3 to 8. So the chart that you have there, there's actually 2 kind of different sets of data addressed. So I'm gonna walk you through a couple steps of each of them. So if you look at where I just highlighted the box in the orange, all we're gonna look at first is the orange straight across, okay, only the orange to begin with. And if you're looking at 3rd grade, this is RLA that we're starting with, and 3rd grade for Alice ISD, so that includes all 4 elementaries. And in spring of 2024, which would have been last year's results as comparison, they were 71% of the students at approaches grade level, 47% at meets, 18% as masters. If you follow it straight across in 2025, the approaches is now 74. You notice that that is bold and italics. That just indicates year-to-year growth. So where you see that bold and italics in the orange, you know that you're seeing that year-to-year growth. The meets went from 47 to 53, and then the masters from 18 to 30. So if you just follow across and look for 4th and 5th grade, the same thing. You can take a look at the year-to-year growth, and where you see that bold and italics, it kind of stands out for you. I'm going to add now in the 6 through 8. It's set up the same way. Right. Okay, let me do that first then. Okay, then the second piece of this, before I add 6 through 8, we'll look at the second piece. The second piece is the comparison to state. So why do we want to look at that? Well, we keep talking about our goals, and our goals are to be A campuses and A districts. Well, you can't reach A level if you're running below state averages. A's are above average. So it's important to kind of be looking at what's going on with state. If we're running below state average, are we improving at a rate that's closing those gaps? What direction are we heading? So in looking at this, you see that there's an oval there around the approaches on 3rd grade. So now we're kind of looking straight down. So 3rd grade approaches was at 71%. Last year, 24, and the state average was 74. So right below that, you can see that's a negative. We were below by 3 points. So we were close to the state average, but we were a little bit below. So then to make the comparison, we go over there to spring 2025. We improved from 71% to 74%, but then you see the state also improved. The state improved from 74 to 78. So we then are at 4 below state. So we didn't really close the gap on state. We made an improvement, but they improved slightly more. So then to look at the next one, there's our meets. Well, last year we were at 47%. The state was at 48, almost there, 1 below. This year we moved up to 53% at meets. The state only moved to 52% at meets. So in the green there, the 1, we've now gone from being 1 below the state average to now we've moved above the state average by 1. So they actually improved at a faster rate than the state did, which is what we need to do if we want to get where we're going to go. So wherever you see the green is indicating in that different to state line that either we have met or exceeded the state and we're working on just getting higher, or if we're below, we're either maintaining or closing the gap, which is what we need to do. So as you look at those on the right-hand side, on that line, that bottom line for each of them, we're looking for the green. That's what we're wanting to see. Moving on to the masters, I'll just do one more there on the 3rd grade to kind of show. 3rd grade masters, last year was 18. It improved all the way to 30% for us this year. State was 21. They pretty much stayed almost the same. They only moved to 23. So we really closed the gaps on that one. We went from being 3 below state to now we're 7 above. So it's just another way of kind of looking at where are we seeing the growth we need to see, and maybe where do we need to pay some additional attention. So that at this point, I'm going to pull up the 6 to 8. And so first you can just kind of go across, just eyes track across your orange and look for those bold and italics to see where the growth is. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, just orange straight across. And then you can look at the same like we just did, going down and looking for those green to show where the growth is, and then other areas where we can kind of identify we have gaps to close to get where we want to go. I do want to point out with the RLA, these results that you're looking at here are just slightly different from what would have been in the public portal. The reason for that is that we have made the adjustment for rescores. So once they started doing AI scoring, the state allows districts, if you see writing samples that you feel like, based on the rubric, I think really this could have been scored higher, then districts have the right to request rescores. So we did request rescores for quite a few students actually, and we did actually end up with 38 students whose writing scores increased when they were rescored by the state. And out of those 38 students, 31 of them, that increase bumped them to another performance level. So they were maybe approaches when it meets. We had one student at the high school that got a change. That 1 point change took them from not passing their EOC to passing it. So these scores right here we've adjusted for those, even though they don't really come out till the final, but we went ahead and put those adjustments in there. So moving on to math. 3 to 5 math, I'll kind of just go through that first one again. So 3rd grade, same thing, orange straight across first to look at that. It was 69% approaches, moved to 71. Was 41% approaches, moved to 47. Was 12% masters, moved to 18. So again, you follow those orange across, look for that bold and italics to see where the growth year to year was. And then going down, first example would be 3rd grade approaches. Last year we were at 69, the state was at 70, almost there, not quite, so we were still 1 short. This year we went to 71. State actually dropped by 1 and is at 69. So again, we're closing the gap a little bit there and on the positive side of state, which is the direction we want to go. You'll notice for the 3 to 5 math, there's a lot of green. And the vast majority of those are above state, so we're really moving in the direction there. Adding in 6 through 8 math, same thing, straight across first with the orange to see year over year. And then taking a look at those greens, where do we see the greens, and where do we see, areas that we maybe need to give some attention to or continue giving attention. And then the last one, also set up the same way, is going to be science and social studies, 5th grade science, and then 8th grade science and social studies. So as you look at all of those, you can see, there's clearly some areas of growth, both year to year and in closing those gaps and working toward getting ahead of state. But you can also see there's definitely some areas of challenge, and that, we have work to do and places to go with it. Principals and campus administrators have already, they've been for some time now already diving into this and starting to make their plans and, decide what their focus is moving into next year. Before I move on, do y'all have any questions on any of these slides?
I just have a question, or I guess just so I can recall correctly, if my memory serves. So the 7th grade math, those were the students during COVID missed in-person 3rd grade math. Is that correct?
Counting back, it probably would have been right around there. And depending on how long they stayed out of school as well.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. And so a year, maybe a year and a half ago, we've identified that 7th grade is gonna need some extra TLC because they were missing out
Right.
in-person, and that was a crucial year for math.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just wanna be clear that
Yes.
I'm in the right grade level.
Yes, and, as you could see, they still really struggled at the end of the year. When you break that down, there are some areas where you can see movement and some maybe where you can't. And I know Ms. Pettis has already started putting things in place, even for continuing to support those kids as they move on into 8th grade. So I don't know if you want to mention anything about it, but I know she's
For
been.
those kids who are 2nd graders when COVID hit, and the majority of them were 3rd graders doing online instruction. And so they did miss a lot of hands-on experiences with math. So we've kind of talked about this, and so that's the cohort of kids that we've been working really hard with, especially this year, bringing in Anna Holmgren to provide intervention. But, they still need a lot of support. So we now are making some changes to the master schedule to include some in-house intervention time. That's going to be provided by Mrs. Benya. So hoping that'll help. Dr. Ishii, math support.
Any other questions? Okay, so then we're going to move into accountability. And first I'm going to do just kind of a little recap of some of the things that have been going on statewide with the delays for 2022-23 and 23-24 school years. There's sometimes some confusion about the different numbers that have or haven't come out, so I just wanted to go back through it. Of course, there were lawsuits that were filed by various school districts across the state. Because of those, TEA was not allowed for a long time to release official ratings. However, last year in August 2024, TEA told districts, they provided raw scores for the different domains, and they told districts, if you calculate these according to the accountability manual, you can send it to us and we'll verify. So they couldn't release the results, but they could verify if we calculated it right or not. So at that time, we did those calculations, we sent them off for verification, and we did get them verified. So those are the ones that you see here for those 2 past years, and those are the ones that were shared out publicly August 22nd of this past year. I believe both Facebook, the website, OB, I'm not sure if there was another location.
We also did it at the state of the district.
Right. So these were released at that time. They are state verified. So not state released, but state verified. Then to kind of confuse things, the first lawsuit got cleared up in April, and in April, TEA suddenly released the 22-23 ratings. So that's when all of a sudden you started seeing on the news, this district was this and this district was that. So that rating was the D that you see there, which we had verified and released in August for 22-23. So that's from a couple years ago, right? But the state was just getting around to officially releasing it because of the lawsuits. Additionally, because graduation rates and CCMR run a year behind, it was from the school year 2 years ago, but the graduating class 3 years ago, right? So that's what you saw then. Then they have not yet released, they've been given approval to release, but have not yet officially released 23-24. It's estimated to come out in August. And these are our verified numbers on that. So you can kind of start to see the shift from more of the orange to the orange kind of starting to go away. You see that shift happening. And do be aware that the 23-24, that was CCMR from the prior year class 2023 that was included in that. So with all that being said, in the advance of the 24-25 ratings, because the state is going to be allowed to release those like they're supposed to. So they'll be releasing the ratings for what just happened by August 15th. So we'll be seeing those official. But of course, we've been working on projections because, you know, we want to know. So we have 3 different sources that we've been kind of working with for projections. We have our data analysis program, Tango, that has a projection. The Education Service Center Region 2 has created a projection. And then we've done calculations using lead forward accountability tools. They're all coming together, right, almost exactly the same. There's maybe a difference of a point or 2 here and there. So because of that, we feel fairly confident sharing the projections. And so on this slide.
And these are conservative.
Yes, and this slide I have added in. Now I did go a little conservative, so if like there was a point or 2 difference between, you know, the 3 options, I opted for the lower one in almost all the cases. Just because, I mean, we don't know 100%, it's a projection. But I'm excited to show it because you can see those colors shifting. And I think that that's important evidence of a lot of the work that's been being done. A lot of the hard work students have been doing, even, you know, attendance improvements and, you know, families working so hard to get their kids into school. And, you know, if you're at school, you learn better, just all the different pieces. We're not where we want to be yet. We want to be the A, right? And so that's, you know, working forward. But it's nice to be able to see the movement. We don't do it for the ratings or the scores, but the scores are a reflection of what we are providing to the students. So, you know, it's like you want to provide the best you can, and that's why we want to keep working at it. Any questions on this?
The overall B81, is that for district-wide?
This is district-wide, yes, sir.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yes, thank you. Yes, this is a district-wide made up from the different weighted values from the projections for each campus.
So from 22-23, we have gone from a D to a B 81.
Yes.
That is excellent. Not bad.
And we'll have, you know, the official will come August 15th.
By campus as well.
Yeah, and by campus and all the breakdowns and everything. So,
Just by seeing that, we need to thank all the teachers, all the administrators, high school to elementary. Thank you all very much for your hard work and great job.
But we do want to remind everyone what Bill Collins says in his book, From Good to Great. Good is the enemy of great. So we can't just be good, right?
it's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
It's a stepping stone.
Our goal is to still be an A. So thank
And
you.
as you can see, I mean, we have lots of areas where we can potentially grow. The other thing I did want to point out is this 24-25, This is that graduating class of 24. And if you remember from that year, not this past one, but the one before, you were hearing lots of updates on all the work on CCMR, right? Well, since it lags, that group, all that work from CCMR, that now is in this accountability. And so that's a portion of the increase is the work that went in there as well.
And the seniors that just graduated
They'll
will
be
be
on
on
next
next
year's.
year, and they also did even better.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else on that before I? So then that's a perfect segue into the next piece, which is talking about how we're preparing for the coming year. And so we did start out, we already had our Summer Spark, which is our summer PD that's offered to teachers. On July 1st and July 2nd, the first day we focused on math and reading. The second day we focused on science and social studies. And on this page, you can see the turnouts we had on those days for the morning and afternoon sessions. Now, some of those were, a teacher that went to the morning and went to a different session in the afternoon. But we had 102 unique participants. So that's 102 of our teachers who were willing to voluntarily take time out of their time in summer so that they could come in and attend professional development, learn and grow and gain what they could to be ready for their students. So I'm very grateful to them for doing that many of them. We have one more day coming up on July 28th. A representative from Lead Forward's going to come in. One of the sessions is going to be about class management and addressing apathy and anxiety. So wanting to really give the teachers some strategies to help better support our students in some their areas of need. Some other things we have coming up to kick it off. Dr. Trevino mentioned the Leadership Academy. That's this week, Wednesday and Thursday. We're bringing all the campus and district leadership together and getting everybody on the same page to focus on our goals for the year. The theme is Stronger Together, Building a Championship Team. Then the next week we have new teacher orientation, where we welcome all of our new teachers to Alice ISD and being part of the team. August 4th, we welcome everybody back. August 6th, we have our district-wide professional development. We've got some great presenters coming in and different sessions for all the different teachers. And that theme is Alice ISD, the future starts here, and academics, leadership, service, and character in action. And then, of course, the very most important date is August 11th, which is the first day of school when we get to welcome our kids back. If there are any family members who need either supply lists or need to do the online registration, there are links on the website, or of course, you can call the campuses. They'll be happy to help out, okay? So we're excited for the first day. And that's it. Any questions? Thank you.
Great job.
Now, we also know there's a lot of changes with legislation, and so I invite Ms. Liana Vasquez to the podium to share a little bit about the homeschool participating in UIL activities as that pertains to one of the new laws.
Good evening, Board President, members of the board, Dr. Trevino, members of the audience. I'm Liana Vasquez, Director of Student Services. I do bring with me tonight Abel Lopez. He's going to be in place of Coach Castellano, and I have Americo Perez here with me. So tonight we are bringing with you the Senate Bill 401. That's on our homeschool student participation in UIL activities. So what this bill states is it was passed by the 88th Texas legislature. It modifies our prior legislation regarding homeschool student participation in UIL activities. Now, starting with this 25-26 school year, all Texas public school districts will be automatically required to allow homeschooled students residing in their attendance zones to participate in UIL activities unless the Board of Trustees formally adopts a resolution opting out by September 1st of 2025. Now, I do have, like I mentioned, Americo Perez and Mr. Lopez here with me. We did meet together and we discussed whether or not we were going to opt out, and we've come to the conclusion that we do want to opt out of this bill. And so the reason why we want to opt out is we currently receive approximately $6,160 per student from the state through ADA. Now, with these homeschool students, we don't receive ADA funding. So we look at this past year, we had a total of 55 secondary students in grades 6 through 12 and 9 elementary students in grades K through 5 who were homeschooled. So if you look at that calculation on the bottom, that's $6,160 per student times the 64 homeschool students. We lost $394,240 just this school year, just with homeschool students. The risks on why we want to remain opted out would be our public school students. They do have to maintain academic eligibility under the no pass, no play. They have to follow attendance and conduct policies. They have to complete STAR testing and other accountability measures. Now, homeschool students under this Senate Bill 401, they can participate in UIL activities. They're not subject to the same academic attendance or accountability standards. They benefit from our district-funded facilities, coaching, and instruction without contributing to our enrollment-based funding. There are reduced opportunities for our enrolled students, such as the shared resources, their equipment, facilities, and travel. We have budget for uniforms and equipment, facility access, bus travel for competitions. That will be a strain on our budgets for these students. By adding the homeschool students, it increases our strain without increasing funding, potentially leading to less practice time or facility access for enrolled students, possible cutbacks or rotation of resources that reduce quality of preparation. Now, for equity, perception, and morale, our enrolled students follow daily schedules, grading policies, discipline, and attendance standards. Our homeschoolers are perceived as bypassing these systems, yet still gaining equal access to UIL honors. It may erode our student motivation or trust. It increases resentment or disengagement, discourage full-time enrollment if our students feel that they get benefits without public school responsibilities. So there is an FAQ on the UIL website to answer any questions that the public may have or you may have. So under the action items, we do have this as an approval for the board to, for the resolution to opt out of UIL access for homeschool students. So that's all I have. I don't know if y'all have any questions or.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Kim Kabala regarding safety? Here. Any questions? If not, or any questions for Melissa Sanchez, I want to welcome her back as our CFO, so thank you, Melissa. And I'd also like to recognize Mr. Gil Salazar, our new Executive Director for Federal Programs, so he's in the house. Welcome to AISD. And now I invite Mike Hinojosa to present on maintenance and operations as we prepare for the start of the 25-26 school year, followed by, is Jerry here? Okay, maybe Jerry should go first on the stadium. And then
Good evening, members of the board, board president, Dr. Trevino, community. So we did have a presentation, but so the stadium's moving along. We finally got out of some of the holes that we had digging for the home site concession and press box. So the contract is currently at Blue Top on the home side for the concession buildings and the press box. They'll start drilling piers for the foundation starting this week. And the rebar's on site, so we'll start seeing some foundation go in the next couple of weeks, month. There's also all the utilities, materials are on site, so they'll start putting storm lines, water lines, fire lines, and domestic water lines for the buildings. So all that's scheduled for the next couple of months. So we're excited. We finally, got out of the holes that we had, and Mother Nature kept filling up with water in like June. We're finally out of there, so we should be moving along a lot better. Everybody is working hard. We're trying our best to get this project done as soon as possible, early as we can. We're working very well with Weaver and Jacobs to make that possible. Any questions?
I guess the one question is, are we still on the same timeline?
I mean, we've got a target date, obviously, we're trying to reach, and so we're doing everything possible to get there. We're returning submittals, questions, RFIs for the contractor within days. which is something that helps the process move forward. We've got great cooperation from the district as well that's helping us move forward. And so, I mean, we've got those target dates that we're trying to meet, and we're gonna do everything we can to meet them.
That's what the public wants to know. Thank you for answering that.
What is your target date?
Well, our target date, obviously, you have homecoming, I'm sorry, you have your graduation.
Right.
And so in
First
May.
week of May,
But as far as your deadline, so I know you have presented slideshows and you're saying by this day, we need to have this, by this day, you've
Yes.
given us the timeline. So when is your next date?
So contractual timeline, deadline that the contractor has for the project is at the end of July of 2026. We're doing everything we can to get at least a significant portion of the project ready to host graduation in May. So we're working hard towards that. The contractor's working on a timeline to show us that we'll present to the district to see what we can do, what can be ready around that time. We haven't seen that yet, but we're working to get that. And as soon as we get that, we'll share that with the district.
so we're looking the first week of May.
When's graduation, 2026?
Well, we gotta get everything ready.
We're gonna try. We're doing everything we can. It's a short timeline, very aggressive, but we've got the right team to make it
You
happen.
sound kind of iffy. The other guy is from your location. Sounds great.
We're doing what we can. We're gonna try to do our best, and we've been working hard at it. And, like I said, the team's just, that's all we're doing. That's all we're focused on. It's a critical project. We know what it means to the community and the district, so.
So what you're saying, first week of May.
I can't commit to that, but we'll try. I mean, we lost a week, 10 days of rain in June. We have no control over that. And that really just pushes everything back. It's a domino effect. Construction's very tricky. We've got challenges. We've got labor challenges right now. I mean, as you all know, we've got some, we're shortage on laborers because some folks are being picked up. So that's affecting, not currently on this project, but we're seeing it on other projects in certain stages of construction. So we've got those challenges. The good thing is materials aren't delayed as they used to be because of COVID. That's kind of already settled down. So we're ordering materials early on time, get them here on time. So we're able to, get them in the ground, get them in the building, start building this thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First week of May. We'll be hearing that.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President, Dr. Reno, board and the audience, thank you for being here. I'd like to bring to your attention several items being addressed prior to start of the upcoming school year. Foremost among these, situation involving some mold mildew in the 100 wing at Charlotte Elementary. This issue arose due to a malfunction in the AON rooftop unit, which was blowing unconditioned air into the building, which resulted in high humidity and moisture, which resulted in the mold mildew. As a result, indoor humidity levels exceeded 75%, leading to the development of mold and mildew in the affected area. Given the urgency of the situation and the time constraints involved, we consulted with our legal team regarding the appropriate concerns of action. Legal counsel confirmed that we are authorized to proceed with the necessary mitigation efforts without delay, following proper protocols. Please note that this item will be formally placed on an upcoming agenda for your review. So that's where we're at right now in regards to the, if y'all have questions about the AON unit, basically a rooftop unit that doesn't necessarily service or air condition or heat a unit or a room. It basically balances the outside air and the inside air in order to purge that air and keep that humidity level where it's supposed to be. So with that outside air exceeding 100+ degrees with heat index and high humidities, that unconditioned air was through our system and basically affected the areas that it did there at the 100 feet of Charlotte Elementary.
And it will be cleaned up.
Starting tomorrow, we got a company coming in to mitigate that.
And will the classrooms be ready or?
So we're pushing that. So they pretty much didn't confirm, but they kind of gave her stamp that, they're going to do exhaust all efforts in order to get that taken
Even
care of.
working on the weekend, whatever we need to do to get them.
So if they work on the weekends, you'll be there.
Yes, of course.
What about the restrooms at Alice High School? Are you going to share that?
So the restroom at Alice High School, as far as the
Painting?
painting, so yeah, we got the restrooms painting there at Alice High School. Our maintenance in collaboration with security completed painting the boys and girls restrooms in the 200 wing at Alice High School during the summer break. Baseball field repairs as a result of the windstorm a couple of months ago. It affected a portion of our visitor side, the bleachers and to include the fence. So that's being taken care of at this time. We rented with my partner out there, Kim, so we pretty much brainstorm and we rented out a sweeper in order to prevent slips, falls, especially with band. We swept that entire marching platform, to eliminate those risks and hazards. And probably with the cooperation with the city, which they have the last couple of years, right before school, we'll get another sweep of that marching pad in order to prevent any risks that may occur. Pothole repairs, I'm pretty probably seen them. We just received a pallet of asphalt from McCoy, so our team will be going throughout the schools, including myself, to repair those potholes and mitigate those problems. And as far as a 5-year strategic plan, so we're currently replacing some units, and these units are being repaired based on the allocated budget funding through maintenance, not having to reach out and move money from another account to this one. So we pretty much will allocate those funds from our maintenance budget, which looks at probably, after today, 4 units, if you notice, the unit just called for service today for the lobby area. So to include, it's 102 at Noonan, 205 at Noonan, and 105 at Charlotte will all be replaced, and those units are already 15 plus years old. Some are RTE 22 units, which parts don't even exist anymore in Freon. There's no such channel anymore, so those are gonna need to be replaced. And as far
Part
as
of the strategic plan, right?
and that's part of the 5-year strategic plan moving forward and replacing those units that are 15 plus years or older. And the last are the league. So I know there was questions about that. And all I can tell you is that we reached out to legal and they're saying that the umpire will soon make a recommendation and an award on that. So we're still, and the reason being, I know a lot of you want to know why we can't do it or what's the problem with that. And I know a lot that has to result in mold too with the moisture, right? It doesn't help. But they're saying that we compromise a job or we compromise a school and or district if we put any hands on it, because they're basically saying, well, how do I know the school didn't do that? And as a result, as opposed to the product that was being used, that's basically faulty, right? And so it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And so that's the position we're in right now.
And this is regarding the mold at the high school, right?
That's regarding the mold at the high school. And along with the chiller system also. So that chiller system, we're putting it on hand, and I gotta get somebody to come in at 6 o'clock every morning, sometimes a little earlier, and basically reset the medicines at the school, at our office, and then get somebody to manually put it on hand and reset at the school in order to get enough time to cool that school for our teachers and students and our staff.
And in executive, we will be providing an update by legal under closed session pertaining to, 00 or 071. So we can talk about the roofs. We do have Jonathan here where's John? Oh, he's outside. It's okay, we'll take him in executive, but we'll give you all an update on the roofs and that litigation under 071.
And this question, I guess, is for you, Dr. Trevino. The mold issue at the high school is, all over social media. It's a big issue. So I just want the public to know what the district has done to address that. If there's any health concerns related to that, why there's a type of delay, because we need to be ready for school and we need to be improving. And it looks like we have with replacing ACs, replacing fences. So
So with that being said, I can assure you, ma'am, that we mitigate our risk and hazards to an acceptable level. And our hands are tied when it comes to certain things, right? And for that, I mean, that goes back to preventive maintenance. And a lot of that preventive maintenance was supposed to be a part of a contract, which not, basically a company is not coming through with their, doing their job basically when it comes to that. So I have my guys come in and basically doing their job, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, we do with what we can. We replace tiles, we fumigate, we mitigate it the best we can. And a lot of it, some of it's been tested, especially with this last incident here with Shallard. The guy even came out to do not courtesy, he did charge, but he did come out to do a testing, an air sample testing there. And fortunately, it's not a bad mold, but it is a mold mildew. So I can assure you we mitigate it the best we can.
But the test has showed it is safe for students.
Yes, it
We're
did
still
show.
trying to clean it and we're trying to.
Verbatim, it was
it.
fortunately, the mold is not a bad, he called it a bad mold on his email, and then on the testing, and I have a packet with all his results there.
And to confirm, that's at Shallard and the high school, right?
Correct. Shallard was just recent, that, remember, really had a problem there. It's just this AON unit that should have been basically shut down.
And then my last question.
You're good, ma'am.
Just to clear it up, because it's confusing for me. And I sat through meetings for 2-3 years about the chillers and the roof at the high school. So I just want to clear it up for the community. So you're telling me that we're under contract and a warranty is related to the roof, which is in current litigation, and we can't really do anything about that, right?
The roof.
Correct.
Okay. Then we're under another contract for the chillers, and that has a lot more to do with the mold, and we can't really get out of that contract either, right? At this time,
Pretty much.
okay,
And we have been working.
And so our
with
chiller
legal
system
to
unfortunately
review
works off a water system.
right,
So that water system is eventually what triggers this
this
mold,
mold,
especially when you have standing still water, right? So, and I'm gonna call it the way it is, like at the school.
just say it the way it is so everyone can understand.
At the schools, you know, our drainage, we have a problem there. So costs were cut back, they were cut. So on the roofs, we have 4-inch drainage when it's recommended 8-inch drainage. So basically that standing water on those flat roofs basically just sit there. And as you know, water's gonna seep and find a way through, they call membrane cracks. So we have membrane damage. So basically you have those crevices that are eventually gonna result in that water seeping through. That water's gonna then seep through our roofs and into our classrooms. And the result of that, we can't do nothing to the roofs, then we're not mold experts and we do what we can, then we gotta mitigate the best we can, and that's exactly what we do on our side.
And then to be clear, these are contracts that were entered into years ago.
Correct, in 15. And my understanding was an energy savings contract that was supposed to save energy for the district. And at the end of the day, we're just,
Okay, we entered into, oh, I'm
I have
sorry.
a question. So in the contract, did they promise the 8-inch and they gave us 4
well,
inch?
that was something that was done on the last bond when they did all, when they removed all when the roofs. That had nothing to do with the contract with Johnson Control. That was basically, from my understanding, that was part of the bond project when they redid the roofs, because they were already damaged. So when they redid those roofs, in order to cut costs, they went with 4-inch drains as opposed to 8-inch drains. So you can imagine twice the
And that,
size.
what year was that? That bond?
It was during this last bond, so.
And the last one was the
No,
one.
not ours, but for the 20 or 20, whatever, for the multi-purpose and for the,
For the additional classrooms and the gymnasiums?
Additional wings.
Okay.
Wasn't the Johnson Controls a 10-year contract?
I'm sorry, sir?
Wasn't it a 10-year
More
contract?
like 15 or 20.
It's a 20.
It was in 2015 and it's till 20.
It's a 20-year contract?
It was a long.
How can it be a
30.
20? You can't do a multi-year contract. You can't promise public.
And that's what we're currently trying to get out of with legal.
Well, we're looking at it as much as we possibly.
So I
can.
provided a timeline, I provided my concerns and my findings, and
We've
so,
met with them face to face and trying to.
and they couldn't answer questions. As a matter of fact, the gentleman, one of the main guys, no longer there, so I'm gonna tell it the way it is. I'm gonna ask questions.
And so at that time, when we entered into that contract, maybe about 2015,
That's when it went to the board for approval. And my understanding is till 2031.
till 2031, and you were not in charge of the maintenance department. Okay, so that was not your recommendation and.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know nothing of Johnson Control until I came here
You've been here, what, 6 years, 5 years?
5 years.
It was a long time ago. Johnson Control was like.
They said it was 2015 when they
Long
signed
time
off.
ago.
Yeah.
It was the contract.
Mike, I just have a question on that Aon deal. Is there supposed to be regular maintenance or somebody checking on that unit? How does that work? I'm just curious, I don't know.
Which unit?
That one at Shallard.
So I'll address it with that's our AC guy, should have recognized that.
So how often is your AC guy supposed to go up there and check those things?
Depending, so my preventive maintenance checklist consists of, because I did provide one, grease bearings in order for us so basically provide a longevity of the unit, right? So it's like a car, oil change and stuff like that. So basically I put that in place to where these guys, and I didn't give a set time, but when time permitted, because there's hundreds of units out there on top of things they're supposed to be assessing, right? But it was a third party that recognized it and basically shut it down in order it really doesn't make it, right now it's shut down, so it doesn't really serve a purpose as far as whether it is or not. But it does serve a purpose in the sense that it was blowing unconditioned air. So a compressor was out, basically tripped that other compressor, so that pressure was basically ramping up and basically working harder and basically stressing, and was blowing hot air, and along with the hot air and the unconditioned surface air.
Perfect for mold. So what, can our AC guy tell us maybe when the last time it was he checked on that?
Well, I have a paper trail, so I do require a paper trail form. And so on that paper trail from Shallard Elementary, it indicates a unit or a problem with Aon unit number 2 that need a coil. But I don't have nothing with Aon unit number 1.
Just curious, because I know that the Shallard staff and volunteers painted, I heard that they were doing a bunch of painting and doing a bunch of nice stuff, and I hate that their stuff is getting mold on it. That's what I heard, so.
We'll be cleaning and starting.
No, I know.
No, I understand. And on the Shallard wrap, that was complete. Can you share what we're gonna do with the other schools with the wraps?
So consulted with Dr. Trevino, and so we reached out on a Title IV affiliate grant that there's allocated money there for safety in order to basically use those same wraps or order those same wraps for other elementary schools.
They look awesome.
Yeah, for the fence line, right?
For the fence line.
It looks
Yeah,
awesome.
Very nice.
Including probably replacing some of the fence, like Wham's, I think, on the 3rd Street side, there's that one where it has a pinch, and we're probably gonna have to get that replaced before we put a wrap there. And then I'm checking all the other fences and make sure that they're sturdy enough to, not end up having to fix that later on. So if it does need, then we do have allocated money on our side in order to take care of that.
Make that Title IV money soon. We had checked already, so I have to be money. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for all your hard work.
And next we have Coach Abel Lopez here, representing Coach Castellanos to give us an update, because we know that they already started a lot of strength and conditioning.
Yeah, good evening, President Jennifer Barrera, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Trevino. I'm going to give you all a little update on what we've been doing in athletics. We do talk about summer. Unfortunately for the athletes, summers really don't occur, because if you're going to be successful, you've got to really work. And I was telling Dr. Trevino, we started on June the 9th, our strength and conditioning program. We've had real great turnouts. This week will be the last of the weeks of the strength and conditioning. With the boys, we've averaged about 110 per day, and that's including the strength and conditioning along with the actual football skills. With the females, we do average about 85 daily, also working on their skills before we go out to the weight room. So it's been real productive for them. We also include, it's really inclusive to the junior high program, which is rather good because that's your foundation. That's where you start things. So they've done a great job of doing that. Another thing that we've talked about is making sure that our kids have some sort of opportunities to do summer school and other things. So we do open up from 5 to 7 in the afternoons. We have a couple of coaches that man those. They get to go lift weights for those that are either working or we're doing summer school. Okay, so that was one good thing. Those are just some of the things that are going on at the Alice High School. We've also kind of refurbished all the gym floors. So they're all ready to work. I mean, the girls were in there today doing volleyball, some basketball skills. I even saw some of the cheerleaders that were in there working on their skills and so forth. Some upcoming events, as we get closer to the school year, we will have a football camp on July 29th and 30th. The football camp is for 4th graders through 9th grade, $30 an athlete, and we do work with certain families and so forth, and that is from 9 to 11 a.m. Okay, and that'll be held inside the indoor facility. Okay, once we get done with that, we hit our volleyball and our football season. Friday, August the 1st, we will have the volleyball Midnight Madness, okay, which will have them in the gymnasium, and they'll start their volleyball season basically on August the 1st. Okay, I do have a little bit more information on the boys football Midnight Madness. Through popular demand, parents were asking, hey, you know, are we gonna have it? And it's out. We just hadn't put it out to the public. It will be shared through other avenues, Facebook and different, the school districts are already put all that stuff out. So that'll be on Monday, August the 4th. And we will have, when the kids will have.
Sunday, I think.
Sunday, they'll report at 10:30. Yeah, they'll report at 10:30, but we can't actually touch the field till 12:01. So it's, and I had it on here just to make sure that we get it to our kids, and we'll make calls to all these individual families to make them aware, and that'll be freshmen through incoming seniors that will be participating. It'll be out here at the auxiliary fields, athletics. So any questions about anything, I'll try to do my best. If you have any questions about it.
I'm surprised, 80 what? Females?
85 females, and that's including, of course, you got your high school girls as well as your junior high girls that go. With the boys, we've got a little bit more because there's a few more kids in the program. But like I said, they really utilized it, and they're really working hard. They're trying to attain and do things that have been passed along. I mean, they're trying to go for a three-peat. So that's one thing that's really trying to motivate those individuals.
Awesome, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Commend all the coaches for spending time at the.
Yes, sir. No, definitely. We're out there and we spent a lot of time. Like today, I was back and forth and I met with Dr. Three, and it's just a thing where summer seems to be getting shorter and shorter. But I mean, for our athletes and our students, I think it's beneficial in the long run, and it helps out our community also.
It's awesome.
Thank you, man. Yes, sir.
And now we have Mr. Bettis to give an update on the fine arts.
Trevino, Superintendent of Schools, Mrs. Banana, Board President, Board of Trustees, distinguished guests. Thank you for allowing me to give our fine arts update for July 2025. I will start off with our band division. Today, we welcomed the entire high school band for their first full day of summer camp. We welcomed over 200 students. I'm missing about 30 kids. So it was fantastic to see all those kids, to see their faces ready to go, ready to start, ready to work hard. We got them on the marching pad about 9:30 this morning, kept them out there for about an hour, and brought them inside and had them with their teachers, getting ready to learn their music. So it was an exciting day. As we move along through summer camp, they'll be learning all their marching fundamentals, their music. We cannot officially start our marching show until August the 1st, which is next Friday. And that is for every high school marching band in Texas. That is a UIL rule. So next Friday, when we bring them in at 8 a.m., we're going to be starting our marching show for this new coming year. As we're working through that show, getting ready, we'll be starting up our teacher in service that next week. We're gonna be having on August the 7th, Thursday, I think it's our 9th annual or 8th annual Glow Run Show, which is, this is gonna be what we currently have learned from August 1st until that point, August the 7th. And we're gonna present it to all of our parents, all of our administrators, superintendent. We're gonna be inviting you, and we're gonna show what the kids have learned. We're gonna turn off the lights at about 8:30 at night. They're gonna have all their glow sticks all over their body, on their instrument, and they're gonna perform their show for the very first time for their parents and our school community. So we're looking forward for that Alice High School Band Glow Run Show on August the 7th. Moving on to our cheer division, they've been working very hard these last couple of weeks. They are getting ready to go to camp. Next week, they'll be going to their NCAA cheer camp in Galveston. Both our high school cheer and our WAMS cheer. They'll be attending on July 28th through July 31st. They're working really hard to get this season started. Fantastic for all those kids. And moving on to our dance division, our high school strutters left today to their state team camp in San Antonio. And they will be attending there from tomorrow up until Thursday, getting ready to learning all their routines for the new year, coming up for all their competitions. And they'll be there up until Thursday. So we're looking forward to seeing our strutters perform this year too. Our mariachi division, we had our teachers take some high school students and some middle school students to the Bembolt Mariachi camp they had this summer, back on June the 30th and July the 3rd. We had a lot of kids attend, learning techniques, different songs. It was a great turnout. And we also had 3 of our high school mariachi students attend this past week at UTSA, the all-state mariachi camp, which they got to go learn more techniques, and they were preparing the all-state mariachi music for this coming year. And they got wonderful experience at this camp, and Ricky was one of them. He was there. Today was his first day of camp. He didn't report last week with all the service team. So a lot happening in our fine arts division. I do for transparency purposes want to say that in fine arts, we are fully staffed teacher-wise from elementary all the way to high school. But for transparency purposes, we are still looking for an individual to fill our auditorium manager position. This position, pretty much, they take care of the auditorium. When they have events, they take care of the lighting, the sound. So when we find this individual and bring them on board, we will be providing training for them, professional development for them, to get them caught up for our new school year. Are any questions?
Thank you all so very much. And, Madam President, that's it for the superintendent's report. We have Lisa's coming up, and of course, we got cake to celebrate Mr. Hughes.
Awesome. Well, on to item number 7J on the agenda, the recess and the reception to welcome our new board member. The time is now 7:44, and we'll take a short recess.
We have a little gift for you, Ms. Brown, to join us in our team of 8.
Thank you.
And there's cake for everybody, if you all would like to.
Save me a corner piece. And for her. We are not doing it. Are we gonna-
That's awesome.
Oh, you want to just be home? Either are you ready? Maybe in the front? Let's do the front.
The reception is now over, and we will continue with the rest of the items on our agenda. Going on to item number 8, the consent agenda. Better walk off that cake. All items under the consent agenda are acted upon one motion. Upon a board member's request, any item on the consent agenda shall be moved to the action portion of the regular agenda. Item 8A, the recommendation and approval of the following donations made to AISD, a donation of $1,500 to central office by PBK Sports. 8B, recommendation and approval of the following bond items, a payment of $70,577.02 payable to PBK Architects, and a payment of $226,959.74 payment to Weaver and Jacobs Constructors in accordance with the stadium bond. Is there a motion on the floor at this time?
Make a motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Ramon to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Ariano. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 9, the action items. 9A, consideration and possible action to fill the vacant secretary officer position for Alice ISD Board of Trustees.
Make a recommendation for the secretary office position, Lucio Zamora.
Thank you. We have a recommendation to fill the vacancy with trustee Ciro Zamora that's been made by Mr. Ramon. Is there a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Guerra. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Welcome, Mr. Zamora, to the secretary's position. Congratulations.
No cake for you.
Item number 9B on the agenda, consideration and possible action of RFP 2501, the radio broadcast rights for the 2025-2026 school year.
This was the item that was presented earlier, so we get broadcast football games for this coming school year.
Make a motion to the RFPs for 2025 school year for what's the radio station?
Jacob, you want?
102.1. Hey, I'll take it.
Thank you. We have a motion by Mr. Ramon
I'll second.
and a second by Mr. Peña. Is there any discussion? No? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. I'm very excited. Jennifer, I know Mr. Peña might want to say a few words. I know he had mentioned some things.
I just wanted to
If it's okay. Yes, sir. Yes.
explain a little bit about the proposal. I know that there might be some questions as to why we're not doing broadcasting all the games as we've done in the past. We are still going to spotlight those students, but in a different way. And we plan to utilize the facilities to spotlight not only sports, but all areas, all academics, fine arts. We have an awesome band department, music department. Back in the day, I'm for Fremont, so band was my thing. And I know that, we never really, I feel like they're not recognized as much as we should recognize that department. We saw a gentleman here tonight that we featured, and we would love to bring him in and students like him to highlight during the year.
So just because we're gonna do the football games doesn't mean that it stops there. We will feature other students, all other sports as well. And I have an idea of how we're gonna do that. I'll get with Ophelia and with Pete, and we're gonna work something out so that I think it'll be a product that you and the community will be proud of. So thank you very much for giving us a right.
Thank you. On to item number 9C, consideration and possible action to approve resolution to opt out of the UIL access for the homeschool students.
This is the one that Ms. Vasquez presented on, in which the district is asking that the board opt out of allowing homeschool students to participate in UIL programs in our district.
Thank you, Dr. Trevino. Is there a motion at this time?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to opt out and dual access for homeschool students.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Mr. Reeves. Dr.
So
Trevino.
before you all officially vote, I'd just like to read the resolution regarding participation for homeschool students in UIL activities. Whereas the state legislature passed Senate Bill 401 effective for the 2025-2026 school year, requiring school districts to allow homeschool students residing in the district to participate in the University Interscholastic League UIL activities unless the school board adopts a resolution to opt out. And whereas UIL activities are an extension of the academic and co-curricular programs offered to enroll students of Alice ISD and are designed to foster school spirit, school development, and community involvement. And whereas ensuring compliance and eligibility requirements, attendance, conduct, academic standards, and fair competition for students not enrolled in district schools would create administrative and oversight challenges. And whereas the district is committed to preserving its limited resources, including staffing, facilities, equipment, travel funds, and UIL activity slots for students enrolled full-time in Alice ISD schools. And whereas the Board of Trustees of Alice ISD believes that participation in UIL activities should remain a privilege reserved for students fully engaged in the instructional, behavioral, and co-curricular environment provided by the district. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of Alice Independent School District, in accordance with the provisions of Senate Bill 401, the 88th legislature, hereby opt out of allowing homeschool students to participate in UIL activities sponsored by Alice ISD, effective for the 25-26 school year. Be it further resolved that the superintendent or designee shall provide notice of this resolution to the Texas Education Agency and update applicable district handbooks, policies, and UIL representatives no later than September 1st, 2025. So if you all vote on this, then we will take action in informing TDA of your decision.
Thank you, Dr. Trevino. At this time, we had a motion made by Mrs. Guerra and a second by Mr. Reeves. All in favor?
Wait, Cito.
It was
Sorry.
Cito and Reed,
It was Cito?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cito. We have a motion made by Mr. Zamora and a second by Mr. Reeves. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 9D, consideration and possible action to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Alice ISD and the Community Action Corporation of South Texas for the 2025-2026 school year.
So this is a partnership between Alice ISD and KCOS. And we're really just wanting to communicate effectively between both entities. to ensure that there's a transition services, to continue to provide students with special needs the services. So it's like a continuous, seamless from one entity to the other.
Thank you. Is
I'll
there
make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between Alice ISD and KCOS for 25-26 school year.
Thank you. We have a motion by Mr. Benya. Is there a second? And a second by Mr. Ramon. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. On to item 9E, consideration and possible action of the 2025-2026 student handbook and the student code of conduct.
And so at this time, the superintendent along with administration is not going to ask for action. We will ask for action before the start of the school year because there have been multiple policies that the committee still have not completely reviewed, dealing, for example, with library books and stuff. So we're not ready to take action on that. But I know that Ms. Vasquez has met with the committee regarding cell phones. And that's important because the earlier that we communicate that with parents, the better. And so I'd like to call her to the podium to share the committee's recommendations.
So good evening again. We did have a committee of administrators, teachers, parents, and myself. We met 4 times over the summer to review this data and our district needs. So this evening, as Dr. Carino announced, we will be just presenting the draft of what we're looking at. You should have a copy of that in front of you. And so what House Bill 1481 says is that we have the authority to prohibit the possession of or the use of personal communication devices, including cell phones. In accordance with the House Bill 1481, Alice ISD's dedication to providing a safe, respectful, and academically focused environment, the district will implement a strict no cell phone policy beginning with the 25-26 school year. Under this policy, students will be prohibited from bringing cell phones onto any Alice ISD campus. This requirement applies to all students district-wide. Additionally, the use or possession of other personal electronic devices include smartwatches, earbuds, laptops, tablets, similar technology, is strictly prohibited during the school day. These items must be left at home and will not be allowed on campus. No student personal electronic devices will be accepted for storage by campus staff. Students who bring prohibited devices to school will be subject to disciplinary action in accordance with the student code of conduct. As you'll see on the bottom of that page, I do have the disciplinary actions that the committee decided on. The first offense, the device will be confiscated, 1 day of in-school suspension. Second offense, device is confiscated, 3 days of in-school suspension. Third offense is device is confiscated, 1 day of out-of-school suspension, and anything beyond that, fourth offense would be device is confiscated, 10 days of DAP placement. The confiscated devices can only be picked up by a parent guardian, even though the student is 18, on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Unauthorized possession of a personal communication device during the school day will result in disciplinary action in accordance with this code of conduct. We did talk about why we are choosing to take this step. It does interfere with the attention and academic performance of the student. A 6.4% average test score improvement was seen in schools that banned phones. The phones have been enabling cyberbullying, cheating, social media drama, video recordings of fights, and they create discipline challenges for the school district. The off and away policies are inconsistent and difficult to monitor. A full ban provides clarity for staff, students, and families. So this policy, just to let you know, is not about punishment. It's about creating that safe, focused, and healthy learning environment. And Alice ISD is choosing to lead with intention, putting students' academic success and well-being first.
Is this, since there's no action, it's being, and I'm gonna ask legal counsel, it's being presented as an informational item, so am I allowed to ask questions?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So I'm looking at this and it's a little shocking. I'm looking like I'm buying a car and I'm shocked at the disciplinary actions. So just to be general, is this kind of like you get a speeding ticket? No offense, Herman, but like you're in trouble, like you have to pay this fine, no, regardless, there's no, even if the student has
no disciplinary history, nothing of that nature, they're automatically gonna go to ISS?
That's what the committee has decided on, yes, because we can't charge a fee.
We
Yeah, they
cannot.
took that out of the
Yeah, they took
statute.
that away. We can't charge a fee, but as far as disciplinary consequences, they did say we can go as severe as we get to go.
Right, and then, I mean, the students aren't going to willingly just give up their phones, and there's gonna be a huge adjustment period, and I just don't think it's realistic, and this is just my opinion as a parent. After 4 offenses that a child could have 10 days in DAP, how is that going to be helpful to them academically? How is that gonna affect the principals or whoever's in charge of sending these students here? I mean, there might be a point where we have to bust them. You know, it's not gonna be just 1 or 2 students where it could possibly be disruptive. That's just my general opinion, seeing it right now with the sticker shock. So,
We're gonna have them going in through the front doors, they're gonna go through the metal detectors, and there was extra wands purchased by Kim Cabalas, so we can check those students that do bring cell phone on campus.
and has the committee met with each principal to?
The principals were involved in the
Okay.
decision.
I'm
High
just a
school
little
WAMs,
sticker
and we
shock.
have an elementary principal as well.
Okay, and then my question is what are we going to do as a district to inform the community why we're doing this, how we're doing this? Because as a parent looking at this for the first time, I'm a little shocked to see 3rd offense, 4th offense, and it's just gonna be an ongoing deal. And how are we gonna force it across the board, everybody? That's gonna be a big issue, a big uproar if it's not enforced equally with every student. So I just wanna put out my little opinion and ask that question, because how realistic is it that we could actually enforce these disciplinary actions fairly? So,
Well, also, another thing, is it all gonna be straight through? All the
District-wide,
kids?
every campus will follow
No,
this.
no, but I'm talking about
Oh, who's
sports and, you know.
everything across, yes.
Okay.
They did make exceptions, which I provided in that document that you do have that are allowed for students who have an IEP, students that are in 504 or have something past a doctor's physician excuses them for some kind of medical reason.
What about travel for UIL activities such as traveling away for a game or traveling?
We did talk about that. I don't know if we have.
How is that
the
gonna
school
work?
or if y'all want to talk
So
about.
we did talk about
We were
bell
back
to
and
bell.
forth with that.
So again, this is for instruction, right, to make sure it's distraction free. So from bell to bell, there's no use of cell phones.
Okay,
So what does that mean? So from the start of the school day to the end of the school day.
okay,
So when we have students go to play in Roma for football, you have the band, the strutters, the cheer, and all those individuals.
They,
It's after the school day, they can have their phone.
okay.
so
But the hours between 7:30 to 4:30, in other words.
More or less, yes.
So if they're gonna leave at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, how are you gonna handle
So
that?
when mom and dad come and bring Sonic to the child to go on the trip, which most parents do bring food,
Okay,
then the phone comes too.
okay.
I know that they've had 4 meetings,
Yes.
right? I know that they've.
We were
talked-
back and forth on prohibiting it or storage method, but with the storage method, it wasn't gonna work at the high school. The teachers having to be responsible for collecting the devices and then coming at the end of the school day and releasing those back to those kids, especially the students that don't have a first period or a second period or so forth.
I
As
know
we
where
came
you,
up-
I'm sorry.
I think and I wasn't on the
No.
meetings, but it can become a nightmare and who's having and who and
Yeah.
who's collecting, where is the phone gets lost and, oh, it's the teacher. And so it's.
And we have
a
students
liability.
bringing right now burner phones. They're not turning in their own phone, they're bringing a burner phone to turn in, to avoid turning in their own phone. So they've gotten to that.
I have a question, and I know I don't like to compare myself to other districts, because we're unique and we're the best. But what are other districts doing as far as their disciplinary actions, if you know, that you could share with us?
That I know, I did meet with legislative over the 2-week period, and I know they are implementing that in-school suspension mainly. The out-of-school suspension is a 3rd offense. Now, DAP was something that we just decided that it would be good for them, so by that time, they shouldn't even be bringing that cell phone. We're hoping that's the way it's gonna work. Now, the committee did decide on the dispose of the device as well. So the way that works is if your device gets confiscated, you contact the parent. The parent, within the 2 to 3 days, has to pick it up. If they don't, we as a district write a notice to the parent. We have a 90-day written notice. After that, if they still haven't picked it up, it gets disposed. We do have parents that will not pick up the phone. The school is stuck with holding on to that phone.
And so, like I said, if you could just inform the community, me being a community member and a parent, as to why we're doing that. Are we following the law? Are these things that we can legally do?
Yes.
That type of stuff.
Well, I think you have to put it
We
in
have
the
to.
context of House Bill 1481.
Yeah, we're following what the law says, which is either we prohibit or we store the device.
Well, that's
And
good.
so, the reason that we removed it from you all taking action this evening is because the committee had met prior to vacation time and had made some recommendations on fees, for example. And then we met with legal during those 2 weeks, and legal now said, hey, they changed it, you can't charge. So that's why now it's like, oh, backtrack, and they met this morning again, because we agree with you, Ms. Barrera, that the earlier we communicate this to parents, the easier, not that it's gonna be 100% accepted, right? But they know where the district is, going towards, and they can kind of start adjusting to what the district would be making a final decision on with the code of conduct come August, because we need to adopt this before the first day of school, including the other stuff with the library books and things like that. So we have a planned meeting, the second work session, we have a work session on Thursday, right, a workshop for the budget, possibly having another one on August the 7th, and at that time, have a special call meeting to approve the things that need to be done before the first day of school. But announcing it on August 7th would be 3 days before, would be like, why are you just telling us now?
Right.
So that's why we thought we would at least take advantage of the agenda item being there to discuss with you what the committee had recommended, so we can advertise on all social media platforms and parents can know 3 weeks before instead of just a few.
It'll go in draft form tomorrow to the parents, just letting them know this is what we're implementing or we're wanting to do, to kind of give them a heads up on what they're, what to expect.
What if the child brings a phone to school and turns it in and as he goes in? So he can call his parents if he needs to.
Yeah, they can use the school phone.
Okay, that's fine. You answered it.
And take it with them.
I mean, this is regarding the elementaries too, so what if the student just forgets?
I think the elementary students, it hasn't been a problem, it's more they're carrying smartwatches. That's where we're seeing a lot, it's a smartwatch. And I've witnessed a couple of kids, not a lot, we don't have too many problems in the elementary, it's more the secondary level.
And so that's it, that's a good point. Say, you know what, I brought it in accidentally, I'm gonna self-report, to Dr. Kubala before I get there, look, I have it, I'm self-reporting, can I pick up? Because sometimes, you get to the airport and you're like, what, I have that in my purse,
We brought that up because one of our administrators, their parents, and so they said, what if my kid brings it by accident, and what do I do? They're a good kid, they've never been in trouble, so we thought principal's discretion, we'll just leave it out. We're not gonna mention it because then everybody's gonna come in saying, oh, I actually brought it, sorry.
Right, and that's why I'm bringing up, are we going to be fair across the board?
Principal discretion is the issue. You're never gonna have parity on that.
And I know there's no perfect solution, and I'm glad that we're all discussing it, and I'm a devil's advocate here, but I'm really glad that you have done the right thing and put it off, that way people can be informed, they're gonna be talking about it, maybe they can come do public comment, because this is a community issue, it's a safety issue, it's an academic issue, we have to be a compliance issue, it's the law.
Mental health,
there's a lot. I appreciate you answering these questions, I really do. And all the work that committee's done, because there's no perfect solution.
Like I said, some of the committee members, please stand if you will, ready?
All right.
Thank
these are tough decisions, so thank you.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So can I make a recommendation? It's a problem at the high school and at the junior high probably.
Most of it, yes.
So, I mean, I'm just, you're gonna put it out on social media. I know it's, Ophelia's probably gonna do that. Like
We
a,
actually did
a rough-
put the House bill out
What
there.
was
We
supposed to-
just don't know.
The House bill, but not any
Not that he
consequences.
said it was. Correct.
right, but now we are gonna do like a, this is our rough draft.
Yes, this is our draft law.
Do you think maybe we should have some kind of signage at drop-off points at the school where it says, do not bring your cell phone?
Yeah, Kim Kofal is already working on that.
Okay.
So he was already ready to bring signs. I said, hold on. He's ready for those
I
signs.
think also we may want to consider, as far as the consequences, if you're gonna leave it to the principal's discretion.
We're gonna remove that one. We decided not to.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
Right, because I was gonna say that's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, we're just gonna stick to what we have for all
Yeah.
of this.
That's what I'm saying. Is it for everybody straight through? Because yeah, you yes, you no.
I think maybe the one that, and this is cosmetic, right, or later, you know, as far as if the kid comes in, oh, I brought it, my mom already left, I need to, you know, what can we do? I mean, if it becomes a pattern, but they're doing it before the school even starts, oh, shoot. I mean, because it's happened that I have like lotion in my purse and it's more than so many, I'm like, oh my Lord, are you gonna throw it? I don't want you to throw it. At the airport, I mean, it happens. So I'm just saying, you know, maybe you could add that one clause of self-reporting if you accidentally bring it by, you know.
You'll have 100.
You're gonna have 100
Yeah.
phones.
I think
I wasn't on the committee.
And being a parent myself, I know that if it was like my daughter, right away they would say, oh, well, she forgot. They're gonna say, oh, well, they let her off because
She's my daughter.
We talked about that, even the staff on campus that says, oh, my daughter has her cell phone, let me hold on to it. We put on there, you can't, there's no storage by any campus member. Because they'll do that. And then you have the, well, how come this person's student, I mean, her mom's a teacher and I can't. So we crossed every scenario that could possibly happen, because we know what we're gonna face while we release it.
I'm kind of, I'm thinking like Jennifer a little bit. Maybe like the first time offender, you take it away, they forgot without consequences, other than taking away their phone. The first time, right? By then, they've got notice now, you know, they're on notice, right? That's,
You can do a mandatory parent conference. That's originally what we had.
Like
That
the
was our
warden?
warning.
That's the first time I did that. Potentially for a week, but I mean, I'm not on the committee, but yeah, I don't wanna.
Were you on the committee?
You don't have to say so.
How did we get on the committee?
Well,
But, you know, I appreciate the work that you all did.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it wasn't easy, and this is good feedback, maybe, you know, that's, a warning is fair, you know,
First time, I don't wanna-
the yellow
I don't wanna
flag.
don't
The
send them to
committees,
suspensions.
they've done hard work on this, but that first time, right?
That's
It'd be just a warning. I don't know. I'm not in the committee and I know it's hard. Because
that was our
it's
first
gonna come to the superintendent and the parents are gonna come to us and I love that. That's why I'm going to Walmart, my wife.
And finally, I just, you know, going back to informing the parents, because what if the parents don't know? What if the parents are the ones insisting that the student take the phone and we're punishing the student? So I know that y'all gone over so many fact patterns.
That's why I feel like we have to communicate to the parents.
As much as we can.
You know, effectively, you know, in regards to how this is, you know, we have to get them on our side to
Right.
support us in this. Because you're right, there is no perfect solution. I mean,
Yeah.
we came up with it and we were going back and forth with, no, I don't like that. And, oh, okay, well, maybe we can do that. I mean, because I do put myself in the role of a parent as well. And so I think about student safety and I think about, you know, all of these kids who may have to walk home. And, you know, there's a lot of things that go into it, but there's no perfect solution. But all we know is that
we really do need to work together to improve instruction. And if this is what's hindering it, then we do need the support of the parents first and foremost.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But then you're saying, well, the kids can use their phone, our phone. There's a long line say, hey.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that too.
Okay.
We did. We talked about how that's gonna increase the office after school with all of the students, you know, lining up to call home, because the students and parents are really dependent on the phone for pickup purposes after school. Like, I see it all the time. And so now, you know, unfortunately, that's not going to be available to them with this. And so we have to think about ways to how to support our students and our parents so that they do maintain that line of communication. So there's a lot.
And to plan ahead as well, you know, to plan ahead and make arrangements as well. I mean, I grew up with no phones.
Yes.
And so you just plan ahead and make sure, you know, before
Yes,
they
But that can even go with, like what we do at the elementary to communicate, we do the group me or the remind me, you can talk directly to the teacher.
We did mention that
And
as
you
well.
can let them know, like, I'm here for my kid, and then they of course have access to your child.
Especially
So-
like the early release, we still put that on our mind.
Mhm.
Teachers have their own for their.
Yeah, so there's ways for the parents
So
to
there's a way for
communicate.
And also too, I think like communicating like the organization, so like when band has a parent meeting, they do a mandatory and they talk about, you know, they also have their code of conduct and which mimics the student code of conduct. So they can also mention this is a change, the cell phone, but they'll be able to take it on trips.
And as a matter of fact, Mr. Bettis, I want him to talk on that. He was telling me what he did today.
Yes, today, when the students reported, we were in the auditorium, just, you know, initial talks, and before they went outside, I mentioned it to them that there was something coming down the pipe. I wasn't privileged to yet. I heard right now what it's gonna come down. And when they went outside, we had them put all their phones in their lockers, and had to lock it up, and they could not go outside with their phone, not even have it in their back pocket. So I'm preparing them for these things because I didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah, he
But
did.
I
He's
did
not on
one
the
student
committee.
at
But he's
I
already
wanted to make
preparing
sure-
that.
I wanted to be proactive, you know, all our directors and our kids, that, you know, you can't have it with you. So they left it in their locker. They didn't go outside with it. They have to be without it because instruction comes first.
But especially athletics, they're gonna have to also leave it somewhere. You know, practice, and then games and stuff like that.
I can see that.
It's gonna be difficult for the junior high and high school.
It's gonna be an adjustment.
That's exactly. We're gonna get a lot of, you
Yeah.
know, electronic, but we're gonna.
Good thing.
We made it through closed
Start
campus.
somewhere. Gotta start somewhere, and then,
We made it through closed campus, so.
yeah, yeah.
So this by
The
doing this
communication
tomorrow, yeah.
piece is the most critical, and we want to make sure, and that's why the principals were definitely active participants, and I appreciate their work.
I pity the Whams in high school.
I think if y'all spin it in the line that y'all are spinning it, that it'll
Yeah.
only improve academics and
Mental
And
health.
stop the
that's what I'm
bullying
saying,
and all
that
that.
if it goes level on every kid, hey, she didn't do it, she brought her phone and then you're just taking it away, but doesn't be in school suspension,
We
and
talked.
that's happened. And for something else, I mean, but
Overall, I think it's good.
hey, we're gonna try it. And the board, we gotta be firm with it because it's gonna come to us. That if it's a small town, don't forget, smaller town.
And I deal with the parent complaints with those.
Yeah.
So I got this.
Yeah,
I think.
but don't say Cyrus Tamara, Dr. Cyrus Tamara.
It's on 504.
Is there anyone else who would like to make a comment related or has a question?
How would y'all monitor for the kids that have the medical? Like, what if a bunch of kids are gonna start coming in too with, I
We're gonna
got.
bring that up to you all when we do the August 7th. We're not gonna display that out to the community right now. We're not gonna let them know on the exemptions. We're gonna kind of say, hey, this is what we're implementing and go from there. Then, once we get the exemption part, because then we're gonna have everybody going to a doctor for an excuse to have their cell phone.
Oh, 504.
I think that was mainly written for students that are maybe diabetic.
That's
or
right.
they
Yeah.
have to monitor their
Their glucose levels.
There's even policies for that with testing.
Yeah.
So we haven't crossed that bridge yet. We're gonna look at our own district policies and then make a recommendation.
Well, those exemptions are already in
Yeah,
place
they're
by
in the
legal,
law.
like that's, law saying we have to follow those exemptions, but we're not gonna release that to the parents.
But again, it goes back to literally a medical condition, which we already have, we should already have record of who of our students have these types of conditions, and you can work backwards with their parents specifically.
Thank you.
You had a lot of answers.
On to item number 10, closed or executive meeting or session called in accordance with the following provisions set forth in the Texas Government Code. 10A, the Texas Government Code, Section 551.074, personnel matters. 10A1, presentation and discussion of new hires. 10A1A, discussion of the superintendent's recommendation regarding the hiring of an individual for the position of Assistant Athletic Director, Girls Coordinator. 10A2, presentation and discussion of retirements. 10A3, presentation and discussion of resignations. 10A4, personnel, update regarding investigations. Item 10B, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, legal matters, board attorney advice, and 551.074, personnel. 10C, pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.074, hear and consider the Level 3 employee grievance filed by Lisa Cisneros. 10D, pursuant to the Texas Government Code 551.071, attorney consultation regarding legal issues related to employee grievance filed by Lisa Cisneros. The time is now 8:36. We will now go into executive session. Time is now 11:41. You're back from executive session. Item 11, the board is going to reconvene in open meeting from executive session to consider and take action as necessary on items discussed in executive session. Item number 12, announcements and action items. 12A, consideration and possible action regarding new hires.
New hires is informational.
That's an information-only item, so no action. 12A1, consideration and possible action regarding the hire of Assistant Athletic Director and Girls Coordinator.
I'd like to announce that as superintendent, I have the authority to withdraw this recommendation, and so I'm using that privilege, pulling this item.
So just for the purposes of the minutes, 12A1 is no longer on the agenda.
Has been pulled.
It has been pulled by Dr. Trevino. Thank you, Dr. Trevino. Item 12B, consideration and possible action regarding retirements.
Information only.
That's an information-only item, no action is taken. 12C, consideration of possible action regarding resignations. That's an information item only and no action is taken. 12D, discussion of possible action regarding the ongoing investigations. That's an informational item only, so no action needs to be taken. 12E, discussion and take possible action on the Level 3 grievance appeal filed by Lisa Cisneros.
I move that we deny the level 3 grievance of Lisa Cisneros as discussed in executive session, closed session.
Thank you. There's a motion by Mr. Zamora. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second by Mr. Ariano. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. On to item 13. To adjourn, the time is now 11:43 and this meeting.
Another change, I think you're gonna have to do roll call votes from now on, because she's gotta put in the minutes how every single one of you voted on every single item. That's one of
Beginning
the,
September 1st.
yeah, beginning September 1st.
Well, we will practice that at the next meeting in August. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us.
Remembering Lisa's
This is
good
late.
stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a new change.
Have a good night.
Thank you guys.